Hey friends and 4 a.m. club members. I cannot sleep. It is now 12:12 on the 20th and I just went down a kind of crazy rabbit hole and I'm going to share some of it with you. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to bring you into the writer's room and we are going to write a very last minute script that is shooting tomorrow, which we are in the 11th hour, my friends. So let's get to it. So, in a final act, JB put out this executive order yesterday, the 19th. So, I did a little digging because what was his final EO? Why did it matter so much to put out something literally within 24 hours of him potentially leaving office? Okay, so this executive order revises an EO that was put into effect by the Orange Man before he left office in December of 2020. And the whole thing details what happens if a president declares a national emergency. So a lot of what is different about the one that JB put out today is that he took away a lot of it, actually. He made it less specific. Okay, so if you want to read below, this is how things would go if a national emergency was declared, okay? They would have a continuity governance activated. There's an executive committee who would streamline and oversee everything. And there's an alignment of national security memorandum. Agencies would act under updated directives. So, but here's the most important part of all of this. So the main addition was this restricted principles committee, which did not exist before in the previous version. They will be given certain national security and emergency powers to coordinate the planning for and provision of communications for the federal government in the case of a national emergency or constitutional crisis. Okay, you can read this next part. I copied and pasted it because I thought it was interesting. It's a possibility for tomorrow, but let me just sort of let you know what I'm thinking about this. Logically, it's really hard for me to wrap my head around why he would specifically put this out the day before. An EO focused on what happens if a national emergency or a constitutional crisis were to occur and how government would function if that were to happen. That seems like interesting timing because, just playing devil's advocate here, if everything does go as planned tomorrow and the orange one is inaugurated, what is the point of putting out this executive order? The only reason logically, as I'm just working out the script and breaking it out and thinking about the scenes, the only reason it makes sense to me is if the person who put the executive order out was planning on having to use it. Because why else? It doesn't make sense to put this in play for the other person who could use it to his advantage in a negative way, right? So I started thinking about the possible scenes in my script and my fictional version of how things could go in the script that I am writing. And really, we have one play. There's really only one possible version of events. And that is somehow for there to be a honeypot situation that is sort of the end of the sting operation where you get all the players into the same room and do a mass takedown. And then a national emergency is declared. And somehow, although legally this will be challenging, and especially with other branches of government leaning right, there is a avenue, there is a loophole for the sitting person in power to maintain power. But almost everyone has to be taken off the game board. The Orange Man, the VP-elect, the Speaker of the House, a lot of people have to be taken off the game board for it to happen this way. And so that is the part that I am a little bit murky about as I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to write this script. Now, this is unprecedented, and I think I'm not a scholar and an expert when it comes to these executive orders, so I could be missing something. Please feel free to put ideas in comments. But just the subject matter of it, the things that were removed from it, the things that were added to it, the fact that it made it less clear, that it made it more vague, I don't know. I just feel like there has to be a reason. It feels intentional. It feels deliberate to me. So anyways, we are literally in the 11th hour, and I would like for my script to have a happy ending. I did work through what I thought could be a possible series of scenes to lead to at least the ability to keep JB in power long enough to set in motion a series of scenes that could lead to Lotus being queen. But that's going to be a whole 5 acts, honestly. It's going to take a while. This is not going to happen immediately, guys, if this happens. And I am still holding on hope for the happy ending of my script to happen. Because what else do we have, guys? We have our imaginations, we have our hope, we have our will, we have our faith, and no one can take that from us. Trying to figure this out. I do think I'm going to go to sleep at some point because I'm exhausted, but I just had to share this with you. Feel free to put in the comments any ideas that you have. Pitch me your ideas. We are in the writer's room together, and I'm curious to see what you think. So, sending you love, sending you solidarity. I will see you in the next one. I have no idea what the next one's going to look like, but we will see each other there. Bye.